Good morning, everybody. I am thrilled to be here to announce the release of our new instrument SONAR, which comes out this Friday, May 1st. And I've done this video a couple of times now and had some issues, but it worked out well because last night we had a couple of small feature requests from a respected member of our trailer community, and after plugging those couple of small features in, they're just fantastic. They really add a lot to the instrument, so it worked out well. So here we go again. Third time's the charm. Sonar. This is the first in our artist series of instruments, which are a little different than our first round of instruments. We're going to highlight one of our composers slash sound designers in each of our artist series. So rather than all of us contributing a lot of samples, it'll be just one of us. In some cases, I'll contribute some on top of whatever our chosen artist contributes, but it'll largely be one person. So on Artist Series 1, my friend Kyle Nicely has provided the majority of the samples for this instrument. So congratulations to Kyle. This is a really awesome achievement. So Sonar is basically for making pings and signature sounds for trailers, but it can do a lot more than that and be played a lot like a synth in many ways. But that's primarily what it's for. If you're familiar with our Ascendance Riser instrument, the interface is similar. You've got 3 layers to combine multiple sources, various effects. I'm going to walk you through those, let you hear a lot of the source sounds, show you how easy it is to generate your own unique signatures with this, and go from there. So let's take a look at the interface. Like I said, 1, 2, and 3 layers. So it may look like a lot, but once you learn one layer, they're all the same. Each layer has an option for selecting the sound source. You've got your panning control, your volume, your mute, your saturation section, your phaser section. Down here is your pitch section. So first you have a drop down to select either the root key, or you can drop it 1 to 2 octaves or raise it 1 to 2 octaves. And then here is a fine tuning knob. Just drag that and it'll go negative 100 cents or 1 semitone and up 100 cents. Now with any control in this interface, if you want to get it back to the default, just command or control click it. Command on a Mac, control click on Windows. That's pretty standard in most contact instruments. That'll reset it for you. So if you've messed with a whole bunch of stuff, you can either just pick a different snapshot to reset things, or you can control click things and get back to normal. So let's take a look down below here. This is the global section. First you have a high pass filter knob, a low pass filter knob, a global attack. So if you don't want it to be a sharp ping and you want it to kind of fade in a little. And then the release knob, so you're not stuck with it always ringing out completely. You can make them nice and short and change that as you wish. You got your global reverb controls, global delay, and then a new feature for Sonar from many of our other instruments is this destroy knob, which as you ramp that up, it's just adding in a custom blend of compression and distortion to really kind of crunch your sound and make it nasty. As far as the sound sources go, we created quite a variety here. First section here is the keys section. Various types of pianos recorded and mangled. Even an 8-bit electric piano here. We've got organic samples, including an alpaca, various string instruments like cello and violin being aggressively smacked with the bow. You've got the plucked banjo and ukulele and guitar. Got some tools like an electric saw, various scraped and metals, kind of mangled metal sounds, an old antique bike horn, a war horn, various synths, and some found percussion, just some extra noises to add some smack to your pings and signature sounds. So when the instrument loads up, you'll notice that you've got 2 octaves here. The green octave at the bottom is the samples that we've created and baked in the reverb and everything. The orange section, the orange octave, is the same samples but completely dry, which allows you the freedom to put whatever reverb you want on it, blend it into your mix the way you need it. It's also really handy if you want to export those sounds and reverse them or do other things to them. You know, the dry ones are there for you to use. When the instrument first boots up, it sounds like this. Now, one thing about this instrument is that for the most part, all of the samples are recorded across the full octave on each key, as much as possible. Any of our tuned instruments, like the strings or the guitars or things like that, we recorded each key of the octave, so it's not being stretched. For things like an alpaca, who we can't get to sing on key, yet those are stretched across the octave. Things like scraped metals, things that don't really have a native tuning, then those are stretched. But as much as we could, we recorded these across the full octave so that it sounds really nice and allows you the freedom to play that. And that's actually what allows it to play kind of more like a synth, as you notice with this little kind of bell type ping I'm playing. So it's actually, you know, really handy for all sorts of things, but we'll focus on pings for the purpose of this video. So let's go ahead and mute two of these layers and go through some of the sounds, some of the sound sources. So this is kind of no effects other than the ones that are baked into it, the reverb. This is the synth sound Hydrus. And then you'll notice here's the dry version. So that's, I'm not going to always play the dry versions, but just so you have an idea. Wet. Dry. Then as far as the tuning goes, so let's play this an octave lower. And you can really get a feel for how just changing the octaves is going to give you a whole other range of instruments here. Take that 2 octaves. So we're going to go back to our root and just go through some of these sounds. Here's the 8-bit electric piano. Take it down an octave. And if it sounds a little out of tune with what you need, you can use this fine tuning knob. So. And I should mention, as all contact instruments, if you want to automate anything in this GUI, you can just right-click on it, learn, and move the controller that you want to control it. So that's always there for you to automate. Let's go through. Here's a dirty piano. Oh, sorry, I had that an octave lower. Still sounds great. Here's the root. And here's piano granular. These actually ring out a little longer. I'm letting them off a bit early, but if you want the full ring out, you can just hold the note down or set your release knob up high. Here's our friendly alpaca. I'm going to use this alpacalypse sound. And as weird as that is, it's just awesome in some of these noises, especially if you pitch that thing down, you can get kind of creepy. All right, let's go down here and check out our Bode acoustic guitar. I'm not going to do this all the time, but check out this one pitched down 2 octaves. And keep in mind, that's just one layer. Once we start layering in the other two, you can come up with all sorts of combinations. I think we're around 50,000 combinations you can come up with here, not counting effects and pitches and all that. We've got, let's see, cello grinds. We've got violin stabs. These ones I actually really like pitch down as well. Let's see, we've got our banjo. Now what you'll notice with the banjo, since it's that solid kind of tone, pitching it down gives you kind of a Brahmi type sound, you know. Let's go down. Add some destroy on that. Let's see here. Here's some of our high metal sounds. Low metal. These are actually some of my favorites to pitch down as well. Let's take that down a couple octaves, or even just one. Go down 2. As you can hear, you get a totally different sound out of it with the pitching, so I urge you to play around with that when you have this instrument. We've got the old bike horn. Let's do the war horn here. Pitch that up. And we've got various synths. So we've got an alarm type noise. This cool little droid sound. Which again, this one's really cool, pitch down. We've got this crazy horror glitch. Got some kind of more normal kind of underwater type ping sounds. We got some synth subs. This is one of my favorites, the little dive here, sad dive. And then finally the percussion section. You got just various kind of knocks and sounds, even a hand drum. So things like this. Or a saw cling. It's another one that sounds awesome, 2 octaves below. So I'm not really showing the reverb and delay and contact. Those are pretty self-explanatory, as with the filters and the attack and everything. But I do want to show the layering here really quick, just to show how easy it is to make a sound. So I'm gonna pull up the default instrument here again. So when I pull this up for the first time and I want to create a new signature, usually I just mute a couple of the layers and play around with this random button here. I don't think I mentioned that. This is a randomize just for this layer. So if I click on that, it'll just pop up one of the sounds. So something like that. Maybe I want to start with a percussive type sound. Then I'll just add in another layer, randomize it. Maybe play with the pitch. A lot of times I'll pitch bend it while it's playing. And then let's add in a third layer. Maybe add some saturation to the main metal sound. I'm going to take that down 2 octaves. I'll show you some destroy on that. Or if I took it all the way up, it just gets really nasty. But something like this that has kind of a longer tone after I've pitched it, this is a great case for the attack knob. If you just want some soft kind of background noises, you can crank that up. But I mean, you can see it just takes seconds to put together a whole sound. And then if you want to change that up, go ahead and swap out your layers again. You change that out for a tone. So, I think that kind of covers it. I don't want to labor this too much, but essentially, this is the last tool you're really going to need for creating pings and even signature sounds. It really adds a lot to your compositions. We are going to include, 50 plus snapshots for you to use and get inspired by, but I really urge you just to play with those random buttons. Mess around and create your own sounds with this. That's kind of what makes it special, is not having the same sound that everybody else has. So look for this on May 1st, and we hope you love it. Thanks for watching. See ya.